South Africans need to come to terms with the fact that the ANC is not going to solve this problem, okay? Because we've had load shedding since 2007, 2008. So it's 15 years, more than 15 years that we've had load shedding now. Yeah. It's not going to fix, the ANC is not going to fix this problem, either because of ineptitude or because it's deliberate.
Load shedding is not a mistake, it's a crime. The government is lying, and today we expose the truth.
Many of us are saying this problem is actually deliberate. It's a manufactured problem in order to justify bringing in the private sector into the power, into the electricity industry. That is actually what's happening. Now, if Eskom is working perfectly, the reason for bringing in the private sector disappears.
Welcome to Inkari. It's time where we uncover the truth and fight for the people. I'm Gondos, and today we are exposing one of the biggest scandals in South Africa, load shedding. For years, they told us it's because of maintenance, unexpected breakdowns, and bad weather. But what if I told you that's all a lie? That the real reason behind load shedding is not what they tell us. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never see Eskom the same way again.
You know, the minister and Eskom earlier today gave an explanation, which is a technical explanation. And but there's another view out there, okay? And maybe let me start with that view and then come to the explanation that was given by the minister and Eskom. The first view is that, you know, this whole problem of load shedding is about the political economics of the industry, okay? Private sector players are being brought in, and in order to justify their entry into the industry, Eskom has to be shown to be an organization that is failing to provide electricity or at least consistent power for the country. And if Eskom is failing, then you can justify bringing in private players. What people are saying is, you remember 21 days ago, immediately after NERSA had denied Eskom the huge 30% increase that it wanted, we immediately, the very next day, got load shedding. But it lasted for about 24 hours and then it was called off. And some people say, well, what was happening is that somebody reminded Eskom that, hey, we're going to have the meeting of the G20 foreign ministers, so you can't do this because it's going to create a bad image of the country. Yeah. And now it's happening a day after the end of the meeting of the G20 foreign ministers. Right. So, and some people say that's just a conspiracy theory.
That's precisely what the minister would say. He says, well, I'm giving you an explanation as to why it happened, so that you get rid of conspiracies and not try and make up stories that are not there.
Yeah, but if people understand the economics of this industry, there is a lot of validity in that argument. Anyway,
we all know the struggle. Lights go off, businesses shut down, students can't study, hospitals suffer, and yet our electricity bills keep going up. Who is really benefiting from load shedding? The government and Eskom executives want us to believe this is just a technical issue. But let's ask the real question. Who benefits from load shedding? Every time Eskom fails, private energy companies make more money. They sell electricity to Eskom at higher prices, and we, the people, pay the cost. Even Julius Malema said that load shedding is being used to collapse Eskom so that private companies can take over. The same people who are supposed to fix Eskom are the ones making more money from its failure.
Your approach to Eskom is going to destroy the power utility, and as people who will be here and still active in the next 30 to 40 years, we are not going to allow you to destroy Eskom for quick personal gains. What is more painful is that you have abandoned politics and you put profit and business in everything else you do. There is no ideological justification you can give on why you want to unbundle Eskom, except the fact that you and your immediate stand to benefit, including your companies, because you are still an active business person who just took leave to come and irritate us here. Let us deal with Eskom problems honestly and openly, because an attempt to privatize it will never be accepted. And you must be rest assured, President, that if you are not going to give an assurance that you will re-look into this Eskom matter, will waste no time, will go to the picket lines and defend this strategic asset of our people.
Privatization is a real plan. This is not about fixing electricity. It's about making sure ordinary South Africans are forced to rely on private power while the rich get richer. Billions have been stolen. Eskom has been looted by corrupt politicians and their friends. And instead of fixing the problem, they keep raising prices and making us suffer. Why is there still no solution? We have coal, we have engineers, we have resources. So why is Eskom still failing? Because the government does not want a solution. They want to break Eskom completely so they can sell it to their rich friends.
The truth behind South Africa's electricity crisis. They want you to think Eskom is broken. It's not. It's a cash machine for the elite. You think Eskom is just broken? Wrong. Eskom is a money-making machine for corrupt politicians, municipalities, and private companies. Here's the proof. Every year, Eskom gets billions in taxpayer money. But instead of fixing the grid, the money vanishes. In 2020 alone, Eskom recorded over 5.5 billion rand in unpaid municipal bills. South Africans pay for electricity, but municipalities keep the money instead of paying Eskom. Where does that money go? Into dodgy tenders, contracts for friends and family, and political pockets. Eskom claims it's broke, but its executives are still getting million-rand bonuses. The very same people responsible for collapsing the grid are rewarded with luxury lifestyles. Load shedding magically disappears when it suits the government. Elections, big sports events. But the moment it's over, snap, back to blackouts. They control it like a switch. International companies like McKinsey stole 2.24 billion rand, and local corrupt firms looted billions more from Eskom. Instead of fixing the grid, the money goes to cronies and political insiders. To cover up their theft, Eskom increases electricity prices every year. So you pay more, but they keep stealing. This is why you get power cuts while your bill keeps rising. South Africans must fight back, demand financial transparency, expose corrupt officials, and push for independent power solutions. The government wants you dependent on them, but you have the power to say no.
We stopped load shedding. And we never had load shedding again. For 3 years after I had left Eskom. Load shedding came back to Eskom after Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, following the 1 billion rand Nasrec conference, was appointed president of the country. That's when load shedding came back. And after he was appointed president of the country, and he in turn appointed the smooth-talking and dictatorial Pravin Gordhan as Minister of Public Enterprises. The less I say about Pravin Gordhan, the better. As you see, Chairperson, despite his smooth talking, public enterprises are failing, and it appears that they are on a course to be sold to private interests. My suspicion is that, like the javelin, they will be thrown over the fence and be caught at the later stage. It's just a suspicion. To put it mildly, Chairperson, the situation made me sick. I found the behavior of Glencore and that of Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa to be revolting. Mr. Ramaphosa must have known about what Eskom sought to achieve. He was the chairperson of the company that was bought without a due diligence. He was chairperson when the penalties were imposed. He was still chairperson of Optimum when the unlawful agreement that sought to increase the price of coal from 150 and set aside the penalties was negotiated with certain members of Eskom staff in 2014. He knew that he was being used for his political standing.
My people, this is not just bad leadership. This is a planned attack on our future. Load shedding is keeping us poor, destroying businesses, and taking away opportunities. Enough is enough. The people must wake up. We must demand accountability. Eskom belongs to the people, not to corrupt politicians and greedy billionaires.
The worst is not quite behind us, is it? I mean, listening to President Cyril Ramaphosa deliver that speech, one would have thought that stage 6 load shedding for the first time this year being experienced right after those remarks doesn't inspire much confidence.
It definitely does not inspire confidence. I think South Africans need to come to terms with the fact that the ANC is not going to solve this problem. Because we've had load shedding since 2007, 2008. So it's 15 years, more than 15 years that we've had load shedding now. It's not going to fix, the ANC is not going to fix this problem, either because of ineptitude or because it's deliberate. And many of us are saying this problem is actually deliberate. It's a manufactured problem in order to justify bringing in the private sector into the power, into the electricity industry. That is actually what's happening. Now, if Eskom is working perfectly, the reason for bringing in the private sector disappears. Okay, so in order to bring in the private sector, Eskom must be made or must be seen to be underperforming. So this problem is actually deliberate. You have, Eskom has 45,000 megawatts of installed capacity. We are failing to meet a peak demand of 26,000 megawatts. That problem is not an engineering problem, it's a political problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe the government will ever fix Eskom? Or do you think they are setting it up to fail on purpose? Drop a comment below. And in my next video, we expose how much money has really been stolen from Eskom and who took it. So, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Inkari, it's time. Thank you for watching and take care.